Hello, hello, my beautiful soul scribers. I hope you are doing well and taking really good care of yourself. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome our newest Soul Tribe members to our community. It is lovely to have you here. Please note that I had full intentions of doing this podcast for you live this coming Sunday. However, I am in a part of the world on the East Coast being severely affected by this ice storm. Normally, I don't really pay much mind to the weather, but this one I'm a little bit leery of, so I'm just being precautious. I'm going to record this while I have power, God willing, hopefully. Please say a little prayer. That would be the least of our concerns. It's supposed to be below freezing here, so I just hope everybody's okay. I'll be okay. I just hope everybody else is okay. So let's all collectively just say a prayer for all of those that can potentially be impacted by this storm. This is the astrology and the energy forecast for the upcoming week of January 26th through February 1st. So for those that are new to me, each week I will pull up the astrology, I'll look at the charts, and I will give you the actual astrology, but I will also give you my interpretations. I have very strong foresight, and I feel a lot of things before they occur, and I can usually give much more deeper insights to the astrology, and it is my goal to take the wisdom of the skies, of the stars, and translate them and bring them down to earth for you so that you can apply these energies to your everyday life. So a lot of times there's prediction, there's advice, ways to work with the energies, etc. And if something doesn't sound like you would like to invite it into your world, into your reality, pray it out. Deem it not to be so. It won't always land the same for everybody week by week. We all have our own unique astrological configuration. If you are new to astrology, you can always pull up your birth chart fast and free right on my website, lisasalvatore.com. And I have plenty of how-to content, teaching content. But if you stay here with the Soulscription, there will be more of that coming up soon in 2026, this year. So back to this week ahead, January 26th through February 1st. Before I get to the tagline for the week, I just want to say that this is one of those weeks. It's a grit your teeth and steady your spine kind of energy. Actually, it's grit your teeth, steady your spine, and sparks may fly kind of energy. The astrology and the energies are intense this week. We have a few big movements, planetary movements, that are going to permeate the whole entire week. This week ahead features what I refer to as combustible energy, sparks energy. This can be literal, hopefully not, but emotionally speaking, physically speaking, it's powerful, and power can go either way. So just be mindful and just be aware that this is going to be an intense week emotionally, energetically, physically, all of it. We're already feeling it. All week long, we have Pluto, the planet of power, deep transformation and renewal. Also the planet of elimination. We've got Pluto in a harsh aspect with Mars. Mars is the planet of force and drive and energy. Mars is now in Aquarius. Pluto is also in the sign of Aquarius. They are lining up this week in an exact conjunction, what we call the astrological term, an exact conjunction. Translation, very powerful, potent energy that can be combustible in the shadow energy, in the lower vibration. Positively speaking, in the higher vibration, this is great energy for ambition and drive. So like I've been saying for the past few months, if you use this strong energy to focus on your goals, focus on your projects, clean things up in your worlds, it can be very powerful and you can get a lot accomplished. This is get things accomplished energy on the personal front while being conscious that the energy is volatile out there. So it's combustible energy, yet it's also inventive, innovative, determined, focused energy. So we can use that to our advantage. But not everyone out there in the world is going to be in the higher vibrational energies of what's going on. Remember that. Another thing, if you know your personal astrology, if you are strongly fixed, which means Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, and even more so if you have any of your points or placements, such as your sun, your moon, your rising sign, your Mars, in the earlier degrees of any of the fixed signs, which again are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, think 0 to 3 degrees especially, stay home this week. I'm kidding. You don't have to stay home. Extra caution, extra mindful, extra careful on the road. Everybody, this is a week of chaos and crazy driving. Also, a lot of the East Coast is going to have severe ice, more than likely, bad weather. So hopefully that will keep people home. But if not, just be very conscious, be very mindful out there, driving, especially operating machinery. And more so if you fall in the degrees of the, fall in the arena where you've got strong Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius in your birth chart. Again, 0 to 3 degrees most significantly. The other signs, yes, use caution. Everyone use caution, but the fixed signs are going to be more in the hot seat this week. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. Also be mindful of accidents in the home. Very careful when you're going down the stairs. Be extra mindful when you're cutting vegetables, cutting food, using electronics. It's combustible energy. You know me, I don't fearmonger, so I'm stressing on it, so please just keep that with you. We also have a lovely alignment this week of the planet Mercury, the planet of communication, our thought processes, information. Mercury is harmonizing with Venus, the planet of connection and value, also our money, the way that we connect with others. They're having a nice conversation this week, Mercury and Venus, which means we can have nice conversations this week. Communication can go smoothly. It can feel more effortless in one or more of your relationships. And you can even feel much more open with others. You also might find that you are pulled to talk about something that you would previously not talk about, something that you've been holding in for far too long, for a long time. And you'll be pleasantly surprised that you will probably get a positive reception. That's if it's coming from a place of pure intention. If it's coming from a place of manipulation, you could fall prey to the more combustible energies that are permeating this week. And the biggie of the decade, Neptune finally enters Aries. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. Neptune dipped into Aries for a little while last year, then retrograde moved back into Pisces and has been hovering at the 29th degree of Pisces. This has felt particularly emotional, heavy, boundless, formless, like we're floundering, trying to figure things out. The dream space has been super colorful, working a lot out in the dream space. That will continue as Neptune crosses the threshold and enters Aries officially. But now in Aries, we can take more charge. Neptune in Pisces is so spiritual, but often not grounded. Where Neptune in Aries is like, yes, very spiritual still, but it's more about spiritual discipline here. Neptune will be in Aries for more than a decade. Collectively, while Neptune is in Aries, we can all be much more proactive with our spiritual pursuits, much more willing to explore the inner self, the inner dynamics. So this is a very important time to take charge with empathy, imagination, and compassion. Aries takes charge. So those are the biggies of the week, but we're going to get into the day-by-day breakdown. Our tagline for this week, firm yet aware, sparks in the air. Okay? Firm yet aware, sparks in the air. Monday the 26th, we start the week off. Neptune enters Aries. Just talked about that. I've got much more about that in my 2026 forecast, which I will link in this post in case you missed it. The moon will be in Taurus on Monday. We like the moon in Taurus. She's comfortable here. We feel more grounded in our body and our emotions. Getting out into nature is very favored. Connecting with self, connecting with others. The moon, however, will be harshly aspecting the sun in Aquarius, all of the Aquarius energy. We've got the sun, Mars, Mercury, Venus, and Pluto all in Aquarius right now. So we have a pileup of Aquarian energy, and the moon, although fleeting, is going to come by and like brush up against all of those energies harshly. So we could just feel a little bitey. Move your body. That will help. When you move your body, you're essentially moving the yuck. You're moving your energy. So if you start to feel any type of friction, tension, jumpiness on Monday, get outside. Take a walk. Get out into nature. Meditate, etc. Tuesday the 27th, I have flagged as a red alert day. This is the day that Mars and Pluto will align exactly at 3 degrees of Aquarius. If for those that are actually watching and not just listening, I'm going to pull up the chart real quick and show you what I mentioned in the beginning about being cautious, being mindful. Very strong Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, we're really building up to that Mars-Pluto conjunction. The moon will be in Taurus and will align with Uranus, the planet of disruption. Uranus is also cruising towards the end of Taurus and is also stationary direct, meaning that pretty soon Uranus is going to station direct, essentially change position from our vantage point here on Earth. But energetically, what that does is it ramps up all of the energy of that the properties of said planet. And you can see the weather has been crazy right now. There's lots of ice, lots of rain, lots of wind, lots of wet weather, lots of earthquakes going on, heightened seismic activity. Unfortunately, I feel like we're going to be hearing a lot more about this as we get throughout this week, especially Tuesday all the way through the weekend and then moving into next week. So just keep your eye on things. We can't control anything. We can be an active participant though, and we can prepare. You know, it's always good to be prepared. When I say be prepared, that means just have a little bit of extra food on hand, have some cash, have your gas tank full, just in case. It won't hurt. Then the moon will go void at 12:58 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. It will enter Gemini at 3:55 p.m. Eastern time. And then the moon will harmonize with Neptune, Pluto, and Mars. This is January 27th, Tuesday. You see the Mars-Pluto exact here at 3 degrees of Aquarius. Hot, combustible. Can also be focused and determined, and great for getting things accomplished. It's all about how we use it. See all this Aquarius, the sun's in Aquarius, Mercury, Venus. We got a lot of Aquarian energy right now. Then we move into Wednesday the 28th, and the moon in Gemini will harmonize with both Venus and Mercury. Venus and Mercury are speaking nicely to each other. Again, great. Wednesday's a good day, even though I have Wednesday flagged as red alert, hot button. That's more about moving around out in the world, okay? Personally speaking, this is a fabulous day to have a conversation with a good friend, go to lunch with a dear friend, brainstorm on your new book idea, things like that, because communication is favored, but it's about intention. If the intent is positive, productive, constructive, then it's great. If it's not, then it can become combustible. Word of the week. Another energy of Wednesdays of the sun in Aquarius will align with Vesta. Some of you may know about Vesta, some of you might not. Vesta is actually the second largest asteroid in our asteroid belt. I love Vesta. She's pretty prominent in my chart, so that's why I like to bring her up. I know a lot about her, but anyhow, you might know about her, you might not. She is the goddess of the home and hearth. She was worshipped by the Romans. They had a temple dedicated to her with an eternal flame that would burn, the candle, the eternal flame. I actually got to see it when I went to Rome. It was very cool. It's not burning anymore, but it was way back in the day. And for those of you that might want to actually pop Vesta in your chart and see where she falls, she's number 4 if you go to astro.com. And if that goes over your head, don't worry about it. But Vesta, asteroid Vesta is number 4. So Vesta represents the inner flame that we all hold, that we all carry. It's about what we deem as sacred, our own sacred mission, our own sacred spiritual mission. It's what we protect. Vesta is associated with virginal qualities. So therefore, she's always been associated with the sign of Virgo, but also the sign of Scorpio. She represents where we hold intense focus and commitment. And also self-containment. This is where we contain ourselves, restrain ourselves a little bit. She also talks about where we focus our energy and also where we might sacrifice to achieve a goal, achieve a mission. I can go on and on about Vesta, but the sun will align with Vesta at 7 degrees of Aquarius on Wednesday, along with the Mars-Pluto alignment, along with a lot of other Aquarian energy. So you may feel very strongly called to almost like define yourself or come up with a cause, or maybe it's about charity work or giving back or assisting the collective. Very Aquarian. How can I help? How can I make things better? How can I be better? How can I do better? Very strong contemplative energy while we're dealing with the sun and Vesta together. And they'll be traveling like this pretty much all week long, but they're exact starting on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, the 29th, the moon in Gemini will square off with Saturn, which is tension. We could just feel like we're coming up against some roadblocks, literally. There are definitely going to be massive travel delays. I also feel there's going to be a lot of issues with trains. So if you are taking the train, just be mindful, and you're likely going to be delayed. Then the moon will also go void at 2:57 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll enter Cancer at 5:32 p.m. Eastern Time. The energy gets a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more geared toward coziness, feeling comfortable. And then Friday, the 30th, the moon in Cancer will align with Jupiter, which is sweet, cute, nice, again, cozy. It's the kind of energy where we just want to bunker down, get under our blanket, watch a movie, cook a nice dinner, or order takeout, whatever, just to feel comfortable, soothed. I actually like Friday. Friday favors relaxation and also contemplation. Same with Saturday. Saturday, the moon will trine Saturn. We'll have the moon then go void, 4:52 p.m. Eastern Time. It enters Leo at 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time. Whenever the moon's in Leo, we tend to be just a little bit more vivacious, a little bit more colorful, maybe even a little bit more flashy. The moon will also trine Neptune, so Saturday going into Sunday, dreams are going to probably be extremely colorful. And then on Sunday, the moon in Leo will come into an opposition with all of that Aquarian energy in the earlier degrees, so Sun, Mars, Pluto, and then it will move on and it will oppose Venus and Mercury. So the moon opposing all of the Aquarius energy, it's not that big of a deal. It could just make us feel like we're having an internal tug of war, or we could feel it with the people around us. And the more fixed you are, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, the more you're going to feel this. So just know that, okay? I fall in that camp. I have been feeling it. I've been very edgy, edgier than normal, and also very aware that if I move too quickly, I could hurt myself, So I'm just going to say the same for all of us. Bringing it back to the tagline, firm yet aware, sparks in the air. This is about staying in our center, staying in our strength, knowing that we only have the power to shift this, not out there. I have a rooted in flow meditation that I created, I think back for the Virgo full moon, I want to say. But I really, really like that meditation because I feel like it's very grounding and very rooting into the body. So I'm going to also link that here in this post. And I hope that it supports you always, but this week especially. Stay strong. Don't lose your cookies. Know that other people are going to be very edgy. I'm going to use my Spirit of the Animal Oracle deck and give a message for this upcoming week for all of us. We got the butterfly, rebirth. Strong Pluto energy this week, rebirth. You can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. We are dealing with a lot of Aquarius energy right now. Aquarius is many things, but Aquarius energy, they're known to be unique. This is about where we are unique, our energy, how it differs from others' energy. Aquarian energy is also very brilliant. It's very zany. It's very inventive. We all have that energy within us. And right now, because we're under Aquarius season, we're all channeling our inner Aquarian. So we all have something unique to share with the world, to share with the collective. A lot of times imposter syndrome keeps us stuck. This is not the energy to be in that space. Neptune is in Aries. May I remind you, we are redefining the next decade. It's a whole new era here. Stick with your people. Stay with those that bring you joy. Stay with the people that leave you feeling good most of the time. Minimize your time with those that siphon your energy. The times we are moving into, we cannot carry dead weight energetically. We have to, metaphorically, chop wood. Rebirth. Not everyone and everything is meant to be with us on every part of our journey. Very hard pill to swallow at times, but it's a necessary one. There's always these lessons, and then there's blessings in the lessons, but we see them after the fact. When other doors open that would not have been able to open if we were still in the previous situation. And again, that's going to be different for everybody, but you catch the gist. We have to let things go. Pluto energy, things have to die in order to be reborn. So ask yourself this week, what's holding you back from sharing your brilliance? And don't tell me you don't have it, because you do. We all do. Somewhere. We don't always feel that way all the time. But let this be your reminder that you have your own unique brilliance. You have your own gifts, energies, everything to share with the world. Maybe not the whole world, but those that are there that wish to receive what you have to say. Everyone, have a wonderful week. Take really good care of yourself. Stay warm, stay safe, stay close to your loved ones, and I will see you next week.